Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to some Division 4 League Racing in ZRL. I am here today joined by Mr. Fitzdickwell. How are we?
Oh, happy to be here. First time on the mic with Freddie Rozelle, and I'm excited to see some D4 action tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, D4's been very exciting, I'd say, in the first couple of races. Having a locked out 1P, 1P2 in the standings for Ferrari. What do you think? Your thoughts?
I think Ferrari got a really good deal. Peter Giordano did a great job doing a keeper on Rig Raff. Keeping him has been incredible. Labib showed his pace last season, and he's really carrying it over to this season as well. And I really think that Red Bull is going to have some work cut out for him to catch up.
Absolutely, as we are on board with Buffalo Trace, the Alfa Romeo TP, second season in Division 4. He's one of those drivers where you know he will score some okay points, I'd say. He can have those like really good days, he can have those really bad days. But however, we do have Max Verstappen, or is it Verstappen, coming across the line.
George Russell, Yuki Tsunoda. You know, he's a new man every week, but he's filling in for the Red Bull crew tonight. Red Bull is missing their main two drivers, so two reserves are filling in for them tonight. So we got Max Verstappen, and then we have Balak hanging out for the race today. And we'll see what they can do and try to bring home Helmut Mechanics some points.
Ooh, as we see an Alpine Light going at 18.6. Full temps up on Conda. Not too bad. I mean, the track is definitely cold at the moment. Definitely going to heat up in the next few minutes. But quite a really good banker.
Yeah, it's going to be a big night for... definitely going to be a big night for reserves this week. And we'll see how everything turns out for all the reserves and see if they can make themselves get some spots next season with ZRL.
Absolutely, as I think I've actually got an issue with my screen at the moment, and I do indeed.
Yeah, it looks like the stream is black indeed.
I'm very sorry about that.
Everything turns out for all the reserves.
So yeah, how about you talk about your boys, the Alpha Tauri? You have Adeo coming strong after the D3 performance.
Yeah, I got my Portugal boys out here, and Adeo put out a great performance last week, filling in for who was their former seat. So Adeo has earned him spot full-time ride with AlphaTauri. He did a great run in D3 as well, so I'm hoping to see some good things out of him. This is the first time we get Gibbs in the car that's fully uninebriated, so hopefully we get big points for AT this week. Gibbs has always been nice and consistent. Hopefully we get to see that continue.
Absolutely, as we have El Padrone, known as Inderweeds in the Discord server. Not the quickest driver, not the slowest, I'd say. Maybe probably one of the inconsistent people, but he's only new to the league. He's probably trying to find his steps, new to racing most likely.
Yep, and a lot of people are having a rough time with it, especially this circuit is a little light on the rear end, so it likes to snap a lot, and so it'll be a big test for these people out here, and it'll be a lot of good racing. Maybe we'll see an extra safety car or two, but there's a lot of questions, and hopefully we see soon how it turns out.
Absolutely, as we have Joel Goron coming on a tricky chicane, invalidating, and Joel's actually been allowed to race in D4 this week, as he's one of those noobs going no assists, then stepping up to a kid, now being a big boy.
Yeah, it's a bold move. Did he go to Wheel Freshly too?
He did indeed.
All right, yeah, that's the reason he's been allowed to come back to D4. So he is still the TP of your team, Aston Martin, I see.
Absolutely, best team around.
And he did have to back out of his full-time seat at D3 just due to other engagements and whatnot, but it's good to see him back racing again.
Absolutely, as we have, I'm pretty sure Palm Tree is Spanini's brother. So, you know, I'm just saying, alright, last week I got Mrs. Patel on the stream, Ethan's mum, and now I've got Spanini's brother on the stream. So I think next week we're going to get Revis's wife on the stream. How about that?
Oh, that'd be fantastic. Is there any chance that we got Peter's mother coming on the stream by chance?
That is something I would like to find out. I mean, I've already met the lady. Very nice.
Very nice. Well, hopefully we all get to meet her nice and soon. But
Absolutely. as we actually have an Alpine on P1. I mean, I think D4. Oh, as Shutter actually lost the back end last turn. Actually, quite an easy thing to do.
Yeah, Mercedes D4 has been having a little bit of a struggle here and there. But we do have luck for them on this today, because Revis, Josh Butler, Toto Revis himself is filling in for the Mercedes crew, which I believe this is his first race in F122 for ZRL. And how do you think that's going to turn out for him today?
Well, I mean, like it always does. I'm back.
In the wall at lap 12?
My predictions is turn one's going to be chaos, and he's going to take people out, and he's just going to go off in the chat and just blame it on other people.
Well, hopefully, if he does get knocked out, he can come back and join us in the broadcast booth, and we can hear from maybe Revis, maybe Ravicevic, you know, one of his many characters.
Absolutely, as we see in Mercedes jump a little bit in the way of Buffalo Trace, who is on a hot lap, and in front of him is a Williams. And talking about Williams, we actually have Bebry in P9 right now, and something I have heard in the paddock was Bebry had his wheel locked onto 900, something like that. So normally with a Logitech you're supposed to have your wheel on a 360, but however he's had it on a 900. And
so he's that doesn't make very easy turns out of 90-degree corners, and I can tell you.
So that's probably why he's not been the best the last few seasons, but looks like he's back where he should be.
So what do you think about this qualifying here? I mean, there hasn't been a whole lot of moving up on the timing charts yet.
I don't know, but I can tell you now that Alfa Romeo is in a really good spot right now. And I'm sure Buffalo Trace will be happy in himself and Spanini's brother.
Yeah, they're shooting high above their current place on the constructors combined constructors list, and their D4 is definitely helping them do that.
Absolutely, as we've got Labib really struggling with the track at the moment. He's invalidated again.
We had a practice race the other day, and you had some spins.
Me?
Your pace was great. Yeah. You left yesterday, but it is a very tricky track right now. It is a bit slippery. The back end does like to move out. It's a lot of short shifting on this track, and this game compared to last game, you need to get a gear higher quicker. And it seems that some people have been struggling with it, and some people have been capitalizing on this new handling model.
I mean, you are right in a way. So I weren't really listening. I was just looking at the comments. We do have a big moment of Frank saying, Fitz is my best friend.
Yeah, well, it's because he wants to have a good best friend, so he ignores people like you.
Oh, and Joel actually spins on the chicane, and he's going to let by the Alpine, and is that Mr. Revis coming down? It is, but he's actually invalidated, so once again he's showing how stinky he is. But we see Gary Hamilton jump up to P2, pushing Conda, the Fox, down, who's jumping in the pits now, so he didn't get the lap he wanted. We have Tanner Davies saying Rig got P1 in the bag. Oh, He sure did in the last few races, but if this is the person I am thinking of, Rigrath, he's not really showing it today.
No, it looks like Rigrath is having a little bit of struggle. Still doing pretty well, but we know that he's better than that. And he's shown this year, and he's shown last season, that he has a lot of pace. When he gets stuck in the middle of the field, sometimes it's not always the best, but once he can get out front, he usually has a pretty good sail out there.
Yeah, Cushy saying I'd literally stick someone if they were trying to call my mum out. Don't really know what to say about that, but yeah.
Well, one thing I did want to bring up was I know that this week we have started to enforce a more stringent turn 1 policy for the start of the race. So we usually do have incidents in turn 1 to try to cause some of those to lighten up a little bit and have drivers drive a little more carefully. They have enacted a policy where a regular penalty point in a beginning phases of the race may be up to 2 if you can't take turn 1 properly. So we might see a lot more careful racing at the beginning of it. So we might get a lot more cars not pitting on the first lap from broken wings, which I'm excited to see if it actually works or if full send it just keeps happening.
Absolutely, as we see Shutter for nearly 5 times harder in the first sector. I mean, already in the first sector, that's a big improvement. Trying to jump in into the 119s, maybe try and push to the 118s.
Yeah, I'm definitely not seeing as many 118s as I believe that there would have been. The track is not quite up to full warmth yet, or all rubbered in, but we should start seeing some more get into the 118s because we do have some close in the bottom 19s. But coming to the last 3.5 minutes, and some people got to make some moves.
Yeah, we have Navira, Nathan Doan giving it all the mouth, saying nice TT time, Freddie. Actually, without doing TT times, my times actually have been quite decent, and I thought, as I actually did struggle with this track, but anything can happen, and because you said that, I am now hoping for a D2 podium for you for the rest of the season. If not, you are one of the worst drivers I've ever met.
It's you know what? That might be a thing that he also holds with you.
Stars FPS saying, when in doubt, send it in turn 1 to make up positions. I mean, oh, you can send it, but you will get a penalty for it. Only if you slightly tap someone. Because, I mean, in this game, if you slightly tap someone, that guy will absolutely die.
Yep. This is a good track, though, where you can go left and you can go right across the gravel, jump out in front of someone at turn 2, make a bigger crash happen there, which always does happen. And it's not pretty to watch, but it is definitely a thing that continues to happen in sim racing here.
Absolutely, as Florida is now on a lap. He is 6 tenths up nearly. 5 tenths up. These drivers are looking quite slower in the chicane than I thought they would have. Because normally D4 and D3 are like around the same pace at the moment.
Right.
We have Peter. You can't win a race on lap 1. Someone who's clearly never won. Well, in fact, I have won. So, don't know what your point is there. Obviously, I'm #1 British driver. Just forget about Luca. Anyway, I think Florida just jumped up to P9 as he has a little bit of an off in turn 3.
Just a little bit of a whoopsie daisy.
Absolutely, as we have Max. Oh wait, no, it's not Max, it's Mac Verstappen. 4 tenths up through sector 2, coming to the right-hander. Sticking it into 5th, now coming up to the I don't even know what that corner is. It's really tricky. But anyway, and
The
then,
final chicane there.
absolutely. And didn't look like a bad time
great
for
lap.
him. And he goes P4.
Nice jump.
Could this be the rise of George Russell?
He's been showing some good pace, and he's been doing some practice laps. So he has, after his big comeback, it seems to be working out for him. So let's just see how race day goes for him this week. 2 weeks ago in Hungary, not the best week.
Absolutely. So we have Light 1 second down on his time, so he ain't going to get a better time. However, Gary's not going to get a better time either. And Conda won't get a better time. So will this be Rick Ruff's time to show what he's made of? Once again.
He has the opportunity. He just has to take it.
Absolutely. He doesn't go full throttle through that corner, which sometimes I can see people do, as we have Adeo jumping up to P3. Good enough for him. Not the front row for him though. And we have Rick Raff coming down the twisty turny straight. He does have a Mr. Rivas ahead of him, which could maybe put him off.
Yeah, we'll see if Rivas actually gets out of the way.
I think Rivas is actually trying to put a time in.
And that's if he's putting a good time in, and he's got a little bit of a gap.
And Triv is disqualified. And
did he
I
pull
think this is
over?
going to be pole. And it is pole, and this is what we're on about. This is Rick Raff.
There he is. Just had to put it all together in the end. Making Peter just scared right until the last moment.
Absolutely, as we have a Joel Guron back in P19. Not really good to him. We have a Labib in P18. That is something you do not want to see when you're Peter.
Nope, but we'll see if Labib can keep it clean, climb up through it, and see if he can keep his top 5 streak alive.
So yeah, this is your top 10 of a Ferrari of Rick Raff. We have a reserve driver Lights in P2, and we have another reserve, Gary Hamilton, in P3. Another reserve, Adeo, and another reserve. So we have 5 reserves in the top 5.
Adeo is full-time AlphaTauri now.
Oh, he is indeed. Okay, maybe not. We have 4 out of 5 though. That is just really poor from the D4 drivers. We have a Conda Fox that actually went down to P6. So he was P2, but then he actually only kept the 119. So some improving there for him to do if he really wants to stay in this title fight, which is likely, but probably won't happen.
Right. But I'm excited to see what happens here on this start. It's going to be a big race. It's going to be a dangerous turn 1 and 2, and we'll hope that everybody can keep it clean and have some good battles, see if safety cars come out. I'm expecting some big things out of Rick Raff up front, see if he can pull away, but Lights looked fast, and Ray could be right on his tail throughout the whole lap.
Absolutely. As we are looking down at the pit lane, and we're looking at Rivas. I've just realised Rivas is actually running my old number, so he's actually took the number off me of number 88. So I think there's a bit of a bias going on there, as he is the admin of the league.
Somebody has to make it look good again.
The formation lap gets underway, and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead.
So yeah, we are actually using the broadcast formation lap once again because who is it? Who's the owners of the game? Codemasters.
Codemasters and EA have had a bit of a fumble, and the tire temperatures will return back to their cold temperatures. And so it's like driving on glass for all the other drivers, except, is it the person who is hosting the lobby?
Yes. So whoever the host is does get the better start than others. So we've got to make it equal. But I've also heard that I also know that there's going to be a little bit of decent going on for some drivers.
It does seem that way, and we'll just hope that everything goes the best that it can. And let's get this race going. Let's hear it, Fred.
Absolutely, as I always get this wrong every week, as I always fumble my words, but I'm going to go on board with Conda the Fox. So there's 3 red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go. And Conda gets a really bad start from other people as we see a Max Verstappen jumping up to P5 as Gary actually drops a position. Not a good start for him, but closes his gap off from George Russell. So George Russell up into P5. Little bit of a fumble for Labib as he got damage. No, he doesn't have damage, and there is a spin. There's a collision with Florida and Bebry and Drip.
Yeah, a bit of a messy turn 3 back there. Looks like Bebry's got some hot tires and having a rough time getting back going again, but it does look like his wing is intact. And so does Florida, so it looks like we should be able to keep going.
So, absolutely. Is that Gary making... No, Gary is sticking behind Adeo. So Adeo's nearly off 1 second gap from Light. Really good start from Shutter. I think Rivas will be proud of that, as Rivas has actually stayed where he is, and I think that's Adam Klein having a little bit of a fumble through the chicane.
Yep.
And there is a yellow flag for Conda the Fox. So he's had a fumble as well.
Bit of a fumble. Yep, and some of the it does take time to get the tires up to full racing temperature, and it looks like some are just having a little bit of trouble getting that done.
And Joel has us off as well. So really not good start for Aston Martin. Something you do not want to see.
There's something you don't want to see. The rest of us are just fine. But it looks like Gibbs made up a bunch of good spots at the beginning. Looks like Rigraff held his spot. Lights Adeo's doing a great job hanging out in 3rd place. Gary Hamilton 4th, Max Verstappen in 4th. Shutter 6th place, Black in 7th, El Padron and Ben in 8th and 9th respectively. And it looks like Rivas has a spin coming out of 4-5 complex.
And Black has also got a spin as well. So a lot of spins coming on right now as Labib is on the back of Buffalo. Going to use all the ERS. He has more ERS than Buffalo. I think Buffalo already knows that Labib's a faster driver. And they're both Ferrari engine. So they must be maybe a little bit of wording. However, Buffalo is keeping the position.
Yeah, I do not know exactly how the team of Ferrari engines works over there, but I know that over in Team Red Bull Powertrains, racing is racing. If you're allowed to pass, you earned it.
Absolutely, as DRS is now enabled.
Labib has a bit of a loses it at the last chicane. But Labib is back on track. I see Black has missing his part of his front wing, so he's going to go and be in the pits.
Something you don't want to see if you're Mr. Duncan Mechanic. And this means Black will have to do 26 laps on the hard tyres, which might make it, might not. We will soon find out in the next 20 laps.
Even to go to mediums or back to softs, you've got to make it to at least lap 17, 18 to make that work. So hope for late caution, but we'll see how it works.
Absolutely, as Light is on the back of Rigraff coming through the chicane, and
Palm Tree.
Mr. Palm Tree having a little bit of an off.
Got stuck on the wall, spinning, trying to get it righted forward, and just toasted up the tires a little bit.
Yeah, as Conda's making moves on Buffalo, and now Conda's 5 seconds away from Gibbs.
Condor doing a great job at getting fixed up there after his little hiccup on the first lap, but doing a good job at getting back up to pace.
Yeah, as we have the two TPs having a go at each other. Joel Goran and Rivas. Rivas gets a better out of him. Something you do want to see when everyone supports Rivas when he's racing. And that's Labib having another off.
Looks like he might just be having a rough setup with his rear. Just not being able to lock down the downforce. They're not upshifting fast enough to get it all the power down mechanically. But there's a lot of race left. We'll see if he can get his pace up and get back up to the front.
Absolutely, as Lights actually made a gap from Rigraph by 1.4. Gary's still behind Adeo. So this fight could be quite interesting as we still see Mr. Rivas and Joel going side by side through.
Yeah, in the top 8 places, there's only one car that's currently within DRS. Oh, and Rivas has a bit of a spin.
Well, he's had a spin and I know the exact words he's just going to say. So whoever's in the voice channel, you better deafen. So we actually see both Hasses next to each other. I think Ben just is pulling away slightly from El Padrone.
Oh, it looks like Adeo had a bit of a spin there. He's sitting right behind his teammate Gibbs right now. See if you can catch up to him and see if they can get DRS train going.
Absolutely. As Conda's actually was catching up with Gibbs, but now Adeo's in his way. So we'll see how that ends up.
Yeah, it does look like Adeo's tires are a little bit spicy. He's got to make sure that he keeps those temperatures down before getting a little ambitious on those tight corners.
Absolutely. As Shutter's already on 10% of ERS.
He's done a great job of getting in the DRS, and Mac Verstappen. Hopefully that he can try to keep that DRS and get some of that ERS back.
Absolutely. Now Conda's near enough on the back of Adeo. So Conda's catching up really quickly. And so is Joel. I mean, both the Astons proving they do have pace around here. And we see Max Verstappen going a little bit wide turn 1. Now will we see Shutter going for a move as Mac is using all the ERS, but Danguda went for a dive and it actually worked.
Yep, and Shutter's up ahead of Mac Verstappen, and Ben is sitting right on the tails, ready to pounce, waiting on him to have another wiggle. Lights has got a good 2.5 second gap on Rigraph. Rigraph is 4.5 seconds clear of Gary Hamilton. Shutter has some work to do to catch up to Gary, and hopefully he can get some of that ERS back, or else that's not going to happen for a while.
So Gary's actually
Looks
got
like we got
3 seconds.
Labib. Oh, 3. Oh yeah, well he's got to make some moves. Labib is hot on the tail of Rivas, trying to make up some of his places. He's got lots of ERS to go.
So not.
I don't know if you've tried it yet, but I have done a couple practices doing a hard first stint, and with full fuel, it is a hard race to do on first stint with the hards. But if you keep them clean, it really helps in the end being able to put the mediums on low fuel.
It's something I do not plan to do, but is something that other people do. Absolutely, his Shutter's actually making the move on Ben. And they're going side by side still. And Shutter's had a little bit of a moment catching onto the curb, and he catches it really nicely, which means Ben is up into P5.
Yeah, Shutter does have to be careful with that ERS. If he keeps burning it now, he's not going to have any when it really counts. But all he does need to do is keep staying into the DRS. He should be able to keep up with that pack. but has allowed CRL Gibbs to come up close within 2 seconds now. Nadeo's close behind him.
Absolutely. But we also see Joel on the back of Adam. As Adam has a bit of a moment, can we see a move from Joel? Adam gives a space. They're going to go side by side through turn 11. Really tricky corner to lock up. Joel on the grass right now, and they're still side by side. And
just making moves happen.
Oh, as Adam has actually under-braked himself and hits Joel in the back, but that does not mean anything to Joseph. He's up into P9.
Good moves with the two team principals racing there. A little bit of argy-bargy, but that's what you expect out of these kids. Adam Klein was racing with his real car, so fake cars mean nothing to him, and he'll crash them at his own will.
So Light's actually pushing the gap from Rigraph. So
yeah.
Something I want to point out is, because he's a reserve and no one's really seen his pace, he might get half points.
Yeah, we'll see what the gap turns out to be. That usually is the biggest determining factor, but we do know that he is a reserve, and he has been filling in for a rough spot that Alpine has had with the D4 team. But this is a big race for reserves, and we're seeing a lot of them do a lot of big things. So the more better drivers that we can get in here, the more competitive ZRL is going to get, and it has gotten competitive.
Absolutely, as we did see from D3 in Miami from last week. Very competitive race that was. People trying to make heroics here, left, right, centre. But another heroic moment is Ben.
Look at that move by Ben. Ben does a great move on Max Verstappen on turn 1. So Ben in the Haas moves up into 4th place. Max Verstappen down to 5th.
Absolutely, as Adeo and Gibbs do the switcheroonie. And Joel's catching up quite a bit. He just gained 3 attempts through 1 turn, so maybe Joel could be in the play of the game here.
So Joel is on the medium, so he should be able to start getting close to Gibbs if he can hold it on for a few more laps. The medium should last a few more, 6-7 more laps, so we'll see how much pushing that Joel can do before he has to go in and get on the hards.
I disagree. I think the mediums actually only last. They start to go off by lap 10, and then they proceed to keep going off. I think lap 15 is a lap where that is where your tyres are now finished.
Well, we'll see if Joel Giron can take that advice and see what he does with it.
Absolutely. But we actually do have Drip on the back of his teammate. Maybe team order is going to go on here. Does it look like he might just keep out. As Rigrath gets 3 seconds time penalty, not too good for him.
Nope. Got to keep it clean if you want to stay up with lights right now. With pushing a 6.5 second gap currently. That is outrageous. So we'll see if he gets restricted to D3 and above after this, but it depends on how clean he can keep the rest of the race as well.
Absolutely, as we spot Drip have a moment, trying to go flat out through turn 5. It's something you can't actually do in a race unless you've just got like a Yalo up. Actually, no, not even Yalo up there set up. Just
the
normal setup.
These curbs at Albert Park are dangerous, and Drip goes around again, guessing his rears are just absolutely cooked. Yeah, his tires are well over 100 degrees.
Needs to keep him nice and steady.
He's got a long backstretch to try to cool him down a bit. He just has to be conscious of it going through that chicane. And hopefully Drip can grab himself a couple more places.
Yeah, we have a shutter on the back of the stoop, and so we actually have a Mercedes on Red Bull right now. Big rivalry. As we
And
see
it's good to
Joel
see those.
pitting.
Joel is going in. So he definitely heeded your advice about lap 10, fall off. See how he can do with these hards for the rest of the race.
What are you trying to do? The undercut on Gibbs. His trip is spun again.
Could be. Gibbs has been following Adeo's DRS for about 2 laps now. Adeo is on the medium, so he got let through. CRL Gibbs, seeing how long he can make these hards last. Looks like Dan Guda's having a little bit of trouble. Shutter's having a little bit of trouble hanging up with George Russell right now. He is out of ERS, and I think that's
on the back of him.
I wonder if Shutter has no ERS left for the straights even.
Absolutely, as Adam Klein's retired from the session now, does this bring out the safety car? Doesn't look like it, as Deo is now making the pit stop, and there is a virtual safety car. So Deo is actually winning out on it. Bad news for Joel. Could have waited another lap, but didn't. It looks like other people are going to make the move.
Yeah, some people are definitely going to come out on this on top, and we'll just see how it flushes out and how many people are going to stay out on the tires that they just got done.
Absolutely.
I think Jill Giron is going to come out pretty good with this.
Yeah, in a P10 row. I mean, Florida's still going to pit. Gibbs still has to pit. But I think Gibbs is actually safe at the moment. Is that Dan Gouda around? No, it is Mr. Rivas once again. And we do see Buffalo Trace spun around once again.
Oh, shocker, Betty Crocker.
His light makes a pit stop.
You want to show tires up on the grid and we'll see who's got a pit yet?
So there's a little bit of a train going on at the back. As Bebury's going to make the move, and Labib, they're still going side by side. I wonder if Labib doesn't let this go, and this could be danger. And they somehow worked that out. And whoa, Palmtree and Bebury going have a little bit of a bouncy together, and Palmtree gets some.
And Palmtree is spun around. Black is, let's see. Wing looks okay. But I don't think the stewards are going to enjoy that. But it looks like the big winners so far of this was Lights did a good job staying up front with that huge gap. In third place with brand new tires. 11 seconds behind, but will easily clear Ben and Rigraff when they have to do their stops. Adeo and Joel Giron did a great job getting their stops in right at the VSC. And it looks like they're going to be in great position for when these guys in front of them have to do theirs.
Absolutely, as Rigraff makes a pit stop happen, and Black has a 3-second time penalty. Now this means Light is now back in P1. As Palmtree's actually had another off.
Any chance you can show the tires on the stream there?
Let me guess. Cushy and Peter are back at it again.
Of course.
Black gets 15 seconds. You guys did ask for the tyres, as everyone's actually on the hard except from Palmtree.
Yep, looks about pretty much everybody has done their stops. We got Mac Verstappen, CRL Gibbs, Condor, Fabry, Black, and Palm Tree all do need to have their pit stops yet. Labib is having a rough time trying to move up in the field. It seems that when he ever starts getting some stuff put together, always finds a curb or something to get a little hung up on. But right behind Buffalo Trace right now, let's see how hard he makes life for him.
Absolutely is. The Shutters just pitted right behind Joe, and so this will be quite a decent battle to watch. We'll find out who comes off at the best. So we still have Max Verstappen, Gibbs, and Florida to pit in the top 10. Condor Fox still needs to pit, but he's outside the top 10. Not the best race for him, as we all know that he is a prospect for the future.
Mateo's getting a run on Ben here in the turn 3. Rick-Raff and Gibbs are getting awful close.
They are indeed. I was just going to mention that, but then I see Joel he keeps gaining time in corners where he shouldn't be, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yep. And that's Joel new to the wheel and whatnot. Sometimes we'll just make things happen.
Absolutely, he gains a second already this lap to Adeo. Adeo could be in trouble.
Rigraff makes a good pass on Gibbs out of the last turn going onto the main straight. Gibbs on old tires will have to come in pretty soon to get back onto the mediums and hopefully find some pace out of there.
Absolutely, he has to pit in the next 3 laps or less.
Yeah,
or
or
he
else
wants
those,
to go on a softs, but I don't know, the softs actually only last like 6 or 7 laps around here.
Yeah, even in the later stages with the low fuel, those the softs do not last long around Albert Park. And that is new to this game. During the winter break, or during the summer break, we are testing out the new circuits, or the circuits that have had additions or changes added to them. So currently with on the backstretch, they got rid of a tight third gear chicane. On the backstretch heading out towards the front, they made the turn a little bit tighter, a little bit steeper. And it's added for a lot of more high-speed racing. Has taken off some time from the lap, and I do believe it has added a couple laps of the race distance.
Absolutely. It's Joel still creeping up on the back of Adeo, gaining 6/10 that lap, and now Ben gets a move down on Florida before turn 1. Florida won't be happy on that, as he still has to pit. So Condor Fox makes his move. Ben goes a little bit wide, could have got track limits, as that corner is a bit nasty with it.
Yeah, we're seeing the penalties aren't as high as I figured they would be. We do have Rigraff, Ben, Joel Giron, Gary Hamilton, El Padron, Drip, and Palm Tree, all with 3-second penalties. Rivas has 9, and the winner of penalty points so far is Black with 15 seconds.
Absolutely, Gary Hamilton is now around, so not too good for him. Actually, I think that was Bebry. It was one of the Williams anyway, as Labib gets a 3 seconds. Adeo slightly having a little bit of a moment through turn 12, but keeps it. And Joel is now 2.3 seconds.
Mac Verstappen finishes his pits for mediums in a good time, gets in and out nice and quick. Ben does make the pass on him, but as soon as these mediums get warm, I believe those hards of Ben are not going to be able to cut it and keep away. Let's make sure that he can keep it straight while these mediums get warm.
Absolutely. Little DRS train going on. Joe having a little bit of moment through turn 4.
It has been a rough turn for a lot of folks so far. We have seen a couple spins on those curbings right in front of the cricket ground.
We have indeed. For American, I didn't realise cricket was actually a word in your vocabulary.
3 summers ago, I was down in Melbourne and took a walk around this park before they did the changes to it, and they still had all the paint and whatnot from the pit straight all right on the ground still. But it's a beautiful park, lots of cricket grounds, lots of Australian footy grounds. This backstretch is a city road, not during the race, so it is technically a street circuit. But as soon as you start getting towards the front section, it is more of a utility road.
Utility road it is, as Gibbs is going to make the move on Gary. Got a lot of ERS, and he should
A ton
have.
of it, and Gary is harvesting, but he's looking like he's not going to quite get it done here. Let's see if he can get a good complex done, get that DRS up again, see if he can make a move on the inside of turn 3.
Absolutely, as Dale gets a 3 seconds time penalty for track limit. So track limit's kind of an issue around here for some people.
It is, and it is hard on that 4, 5, 6 section with those curbs. They do like to throw your alert around a little bit, and it seems to be finally tagging people here in the later stages. So Freddie, is anything surprising you so far? You know, seen a few spins, seen lots of penalties, but Ben is doing a great race. This lights guy is absolutely lights out.
So his drip now is now retired. I mean, I was quite shocked that LeBee was. He's not really had the best racing. Conda the Fox as well. Something you don't want to see from 2 really quick drivers.
They're
both
very
top
quick.
3.
They're very quick. They have been awesome this whole year in the standings, and you got to wonder if the quickness sometimes the setup might be biting him in the back end around Albert Park.
I did hear about Ferrari team practices that they don't really focus on the setups. They focus more on the tyre strategy. I think normally you should really focus more on the setup.
Well,
and the
and especially with the walls being so close here. Your tire strategy kind of goes around your bodywork strategy if you don't have enough downforce set up.
So as Joel is now at the back of Adeo, so me versus you right now in the commentary booth. Who will win? We already know what the answer is.
Well, I mean, we'll see if and there's our answer.
There is our answer. Has Adeo got damage, or is that just is it Polytine? Something like that?
He just hit the DRS marker, so he is in good shape. Just spun around. Tires don't look too hot, so he should be able to get up, and hopefully he can find his way back up into the top 10. Oh, still in the top 10. Having a little bit of struggle keeping it together there, though.
He is indeed. As Joel's now in P5. Really good recovery race from him. And now he's going to be on the back of George Russell, who's showing really good pace through Melbourne Park. Joel taking turn 3 in second gear, something I don't really like to do because you can lose traction really easily.
It's a very, very hard one to keep traction. You know, some people bring it down into second to help with a little bit of gearbox braking, but it's usually a thing where you got to short shift back up to third or fourth really quick, or else back end does like to step out and try to get you into that wall.
Yeah, Max Max Verstappen still in DRS from Ben.
Looks like he needs to start harvesting, or else he's not going to be able to make his move.
Yeah, the only problem is his tyres are going to come off in the next 5 laps, and Joe is showing really good pace right now. However, Joe does have a 3-second time penalty, so I think Joe's going to gamble on a spin or 3 seconds himself and try and get the move done on George Russell.
Yeah, and we'll see if George can, if he decides to try to push his luck, even though he isn't with the time penalty right now. So all he does need to do is just stay with Ben. That's all he needs to do to make sure that he seals that 3rd place spot on the podium. Or if he pushes it, and hopefully sparks don't fly for him. Gary Hamilton and Gibbs are giving their fight. Gary right on the tail of Gibbs. Gary with a little bit older, hard tires. Gibbs seeing if he can make those mediums work and stick a little bit better.
Absolutely. And if I was Gibbs, he has been using the battery.
They both are right around 10%, and DRS is going to end up winning in this situation. Maybe a little bit of traction out of Gibbs, but the far side of the front stretch, we'll see what happens there.
Gary's steaming.
We'll see if they keep it clean. Nice braking there by Gary, making sure that he can live to see another pass. We do have a small train. We still do have a small train back from 9 to 11. Adeo is being followed tightly by Florida and El Padron.
They are indeed, and this is helping Conda maybe catch back up to him. I've been watching Conda the last few laps. He is catching up on El Padron, so maybe he can get a few more points ahead of Labib, which any points helps.
Yeah, and anything that any other team really wants right now is to stop the D4 powerhouse that has been D4 Ferrari with Regraf and Labib.
Not
Labib
showing
having
it
an
today.
off day. Labib had a very rough time in qualifying, and it seems he's been having a rougher and rougher day during the race. We'll see if he can hold it together for another 5 laps, 6 laps.
Absolutely. As there's a sort of fight going on with Ben and Max Verstappen.
Mac getting very tight. Doesn't look like he's trying to set up the next pass. He's just getting a little too close. See if he can set up this pass and try to get a good grip on this exit here.
I think he's trying to keep it calm and collective, because if he does keep it calm and collective, this will be his first ever podium in ZRL history.
His mom, his biggest ZRL fan, and he's doing a great job of making sure he doesn't put his nose in any bad situations, trying to keep that no time penalties work for him. So far so good, but Joel is coming on in 0.2 seconds away from DRS zone.
Joel is coming very fast, faster than expected. Only 3 tenths away for the DRS zone, so maybe next lap he can get it, but he's actually losing some time on the straight. As George is not going to get the best exit through the chicane, but he does have a DRS, and will this be the move to see him the podium? It does not, so he's doing what I'm saying.
Yep.
He is doing what I am saying.
Oh, it's getting dangerous.
And now this means Joel is now on the back.
Joel hanging about 20% of DRS, but even a little spurt will give him a good chance of getting a run on those two fighting up ahead of him.
Absolutely, as Florida is around. No, it is not Florida. It is Bedbury. Happening in. George having a little bit of a moment. No, it's actually Ben. But now they're going side by side, and this will get the move done.
Let's see it happen.
They're going side by
Keep it
side,
straight.
and George just has the most grip. As Joel's going on down on the outside of Ben, gets on the curb, does not work, and Ben will be furious with that.
Yeah, he got himself out of shape getting passed by the one, and Joel Giron said, hey, I think I'll have another one.
And now,
But by doing so, Joel gave himself another 3-second penalty, so Ben moves right back up. And if Gary can keep that close, if he keeps fighting the way that he has been, he's going to be right up there fighting with Joel's 6-second penalties.
he will be indeed. Conda the Fox is now on the back of El Padrone. Conda's got a lot of ERS. I think he's going to save it.
I think he's been saving. Yeah, I believe he has been saving it ever since he had his couple spins up on that first stint, trying to make sure that he can make passes later on in the race when he's needed to. But he knows he is faster than a lot of these back folk, so he hasn't been having to use it too much.
Ooh, a bit of contact going through turn 11, but he does get the move done.
Put a little shoulder into somebody every once in a while, and that's how you score tries. So good move by Condor getting past El Padrone, but getting a little loose there. Ooh, we're getting tight up front again. Joel Giron and Ben are both within a second of Max Verstappen, and Joel is on full attack right now.
I think if I was George right now, I'd just defend this for my life. Actually, I wouldn't even defend it because the penalty wise.
Well, and that's the thing, you know, Mac, hopefully his engineers letting him know that, you know, this is not a battle he needs to fight. He does have a 6-second on Joel. He does have 3 seconds on Ben. But
Gary
if he can
now
do
has
clean,
6 seconds.
Yep, and it's, you know, just keep a clean defense. Don't fight too hard, and you can get yourself on the podium. And Duncan McCamick would love that. Maybe more than George. I'm sorry, Mac.
Absolutely, as Gary now has a little bit of an off. But is Joel going to send it? No, he's not.
I think Joel's going to be very wary of what he does right now. He doesn't want to get called out for doing anything a little too aggressive. They are technically in the same family, so we'll see how aggressive Joel takes this race.
Absolutely. Now Gibbs gets 3 seconds, however he does get 6 seconds. So,
I do believe that might have been the turn 6 glitch because he was at 0. He had no time penalty before that turn, so hopefully we get a recording on that, and we'll see what happens on the race director.
Joel is still on the back of George Russell, and Ben is actually losing time. He just keeps with the DRS for now. Oh, but he goes wide.
Does seem like he's having a lot of trouble with those tires right now. He is on lap 13, but it just seemed like he went deep. So let's see what Joel Giron does. Joel plays the nice guy, pulls back a little bit.
Yeah, now Ben is going to get no DRS, and now Gibbs is on the back of these drivers.
Oh, as we have a looked like palm tree, I'm guessing was in the wall there.
Oh no! Gibbs is spun.
Ah, Gibbs. Gibbsy.
That is really frustrating for him.
It's frustrating for me, but still good to see Gibbs and Adeo both in the top 10 currently. Hopefully Gibbs can keep it straight for these last 2 laps, get some good points, and get this D4 back up where it should be.
So it is now Joe and Max Verstappen having a little bit of a fight now, but they don't really want to be fighting because now Ben is back in the he's back in the scene.
Yep, just 1 second back. They have one whole lap to go, and we'll see if Joel
Ooh.
decides to park the bus on Mac or not.
Yeah, Mac did indeed touch the back of Joel, making Joel be a little bit of having a little bit of a moment through second to last corner, but he is still a-okay. So I've just realised this is the last lap and we haven't even been on board with him the whole day. We do indeed have an Alpine, sadly, win this race.
Lights did a great race, honestly, just picture perfect. I don't think we'll see him in D4 again.
Absolutely, I mean 24 seconds, that is worse. That is quite, well, it's not bad, but it's just not what you really want to see, as we do have a fight going ahead. However, it is what it is. The admins/stewards will decide if he gets half points, full points. But for me, that is half points.
It might have to be, but Rigraff comes across the line 24 seconds behind Lights. Joel Guron still has a ways to go, so a lot of spreading up front in the top 3 positions. And then 3, 4th, and 5th are great battle for the last few laps of the race.
Absolutely, as Joel Guron's going to get P3, but not for long. As we actually see George Russell get the P3 he deserves. And that is a really good reserve race for Max Verstappen. Hopefully we can see him once again in the future. However, that is going to be it for your top 3, and we do see Honda Fox jump back into P9. It's not a bad race, It just shows that if you spin around here, it does cause you some issues.
It does. It's a hard track to get back on. There's a lot of tight turns. You got hot tires. It's a hard one to get back straight. But a lot of these guys had a lot of spins, and they recovered great. Condor did a great job, had a couple spins, gets back up into the top 10, and I don't think Joel can be too mad about it. It was a tough track for a lot of folks, and so having that trouble and getting back up in the top 10 is a great result. We'll see if Joel's ever allowed to race in D4 again.
I mean, it wasn't too bad. It was like expected for an Aston Martin driver. I'm not sure if that's just me being an Aston driver myself.
Oh, driver of the day. Driver of the day, too. I don't know. I think Cody's is trying to say something to the admin team. No, great job by Joel. You know, going to wheel from pad. It's a big jump like Raz took, last season?
Absolutely. Something that is quite hard to do, especially when you've never really drove in your life before, unless you're doing go-karting, which I have done. But however, that is what it is. And
congrats to Lights, getting his first place. See how that goes. Rigraff holds a great second place, and Max Verstappen, reserving for Red Bull, gets that podium that he deserved and has been working so hard for this season.
Yeah. So let's try and get the drivers.
Yeah.
Who
would you like to pull in first?
It's got to be P3, Mr. Max Verstappen, so let's get him in the call. Here's all your incidents for today for stewards.
All right, bringing them in now.
So yeah, we have George Russell, known as Max Verstappen or Max Verstappen. Go on, what is the name?
I don't know.
Well, you made it.
Duncan made it, I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, Duncan made it. Anyway, let's talk about the race. How did it go for you? I mean, when we were on board with you, you were outstanding.
It was just amazing. I got really lucky with penalties, and it's just like I think it was on lap 5. I got overtaken, got in 4th place, and I had a bit of a like I went to the grass, and it really scared me. And that almost ended my race. But
You did a great job holding him off. You did a great job sticking behind Ben, and it really worked out well for you.
yeah, feels good, dude. Feels good.
So is this your first ever podium in ZRL?
Yeah, it's my best finish, and by a long shot.
Yeah. So what do you think in the future? What's your like plans? Are you trying to get a seat in D4, D3, most likely D4?
To be in D4, like I know technically can be in D3, but that'd be in the back of the pack. And I don't know, podium just feels a lot better.
Yeah, you
No.
did a great job today.
Something else I just wanted to point out was that if you really want to be at the back, you can ask Fitstick.
Yep. Yeah, I'm a D3 backmarker champion, and you definitely drove better than I have been this year. So.
Anyway, let's get Rigraff in the call. Rigraff, welcome back in the booth. What is your thoughts? Because I think if I was you, I'd be quite annoyed seeing a reserve driver take the P1 by a long shot.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna get like mad about it, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, Light seems like a cool guy. He's super fast.
Don't worry, Siggy stole a couple of wins from me last season, so I understand the feeling that you don't want to say right now.
yeah. I mean, it's fine. I was happy with my race, so everything went to plan. The time and qualifying was hype. Going P1, but yeah, other than that, I'm fine with everything. The way my race went, honestly.
Yeah, look good, look clean. Can't ask for
Thank
anything
you.
more than that.
Yep.
Well, congrats on some big points, and keep your Ferrari lead.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
Later.
Later.
So yeah, I mean that was Rigraff. He sounded okay about it. But now we have the race winner, Alpine driver, Lights. Lights, welcome to the call. Is this your first race with us?
Yeah, it is.
How did it feel out there? Yeah, it looked like you just were on a Sunday drive.
Yeah, it's quite nice driving out there. Like, I think I got some setup tips just before the race, and that really helped me out. I was having trouble before the race with spinning, and that fixed it.
Yeah, it was beautiful out there. That gap that you put a 24-second gap on the leader of ZRL right now. So that was a outrageous race. That was a great race. We'll see what the stewards see if we can get you some full points or not. But
No, I've actually
awesome
been
race out there
told.
today.
I've actually been told that his points will not be full points; it will be half points. So, what's half of 35? 17.5. Quick maths there. So, yeah, 17.5 for Alpine ain't too bad.
No, it's Luke Locklear is going to be very happy with that, and that was a great reserve, great finish. Good job tonight,
Yeah.
Lights.
Thank you.
So yeah, that was
Well,
our.
Freddie,
Oh, go on, you can have it.
it was a fun race to see. A lot of spinning going on. We only had one VSC, which was very surprising.
Very surprising. Not actually. No, I'm not sure because whenever I broadcast, we never see a safety car. So
You got a lucky charm on you.
yeah, it's always a boring races. But anyway,
But-
that is your D4. We do have D3 in Saturday 8 p.m. EST. Then that's followed up by D2 10 p.m. EST, which Fitz you will be doing that with Spanini. So really good commentator you have there, probably better than me.
Is this Toto Rivas who is joining us, or is this Rivicevic?
No, this is Dodo Rivas. I just want to say a big shout out to both the McLarens. Suck my butt. Beat you both. Dude, this game is absolute trash, and I don't know why you guys love it so much. It was an absolute miserable time for me tonight. And for some reason, I'm doing it again tomorrow in Division X. Dude, that was awful. Terrible time.
Maybe it's something. Maybe it's a game that you should get your kids doing.
I'm sorry, I was talking to Fitz. What?
Oh, okay.
I don't know. We might have Team Ravicevic and toast tomorrow for Williams and DX.
So rumor has it that Labib is getting a 3-race ban for killing me. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but
we did not.
We did not.
That is the rumor on the street. It was the most exciting battle on track for about 13.5 seconds. I can't believe you guys missed it. Anyway,
oh no, I was watching it. It was great.
Appreciate you guys broadcasting tonight. See you later.
Yeah, thanks for racing.
So yeah, that is your D4. So hopefully you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, or do not subscribe, because this is a bad leak. Joking. Cannot say that at all. But yeah, this is your boy Freddie Razel, your #1 British driver, and always will be. And this is Dick Fitzinwell, and we are out.
No, have a go, Tom. Now.